Still ahead, some expert advice for couples. Marriage therapist Todd Creager is going to be with us to talk about his tips for dodging divorce and putting the passion back in your marriage.
You're watching KCAL 9 News at 2.
Latest statistics suggest California's divorce rate is up to 75%. Joining us today, Todd Creager, who is a marriage and sex therapist and the author of the book, The Long Hot Marriage.
And Todd has some tips on how to dodge divorce and also how to put the passion back in your marriage. Welcome, Todd.
Absolutely. Nice to be here.
So it's not just about staying married. It's about staying married and being happy in that relationship.
Yes. Yes, the high divorce rates are really not a doom and gloom. People go, oh, you know, getting married, they'll probably be divorced. It's really a call to action. It's really a call. Our parents didn't know how to do it. It's not their fault either. But we can do new things, we can think new things, and we could speak new things and change new patterns, and we could do that.
So is most of that 75% figure fixable if it's caught early on and changes made?
I think it's fixable, and I'll even say this, because I've been doing this for 30 years and married for 28, happily, that even if it's not early on, it can be fixed. If people do the same old thing that they've done before or the same thing their parents did, it is doomed. But if they change, if they do something new, even I've worked with people married miserably for over 20 years, and they can make changes if they do new things and say new things and think new things.
I think we all know those couples who are staying together for the sake of the kids. You can tell that they're not happy.
Oh, yes.
There's hope for them?
Absolutely. They are staying just for the kids because they're not thinking any differently. They have no solution. And sometimes, honestly, they need someone like myself or getting some good books, and they're out there. They weren't out there 30 years ago, but they're out there now. And we can learn. We can all learn new tricks. Surely I'm glad in my own marriage I'm not doing the same things I did when I first got married. You know, it's really possible.
You point out in your book that part of what we're doing wrong is protecting ourselves while we're in a relation. What does that mean?
That's the major problem. We all protect ourselves from psychological harm, not necessarily physical harm, but psychologically we're afraid of rejection, we're afraid of withdrawal of love, we're afraid of being dominated. So we have all these fears, and then with these fears we do fight or flight behaviors. So either yell, we'll scream, we'll bicker, or we'll flight. We could flight by having an affair, drugs, alcohol, playing Farmville on Facebook. You know, there's all kinds of ways people flight these days, and it just continues this disconnection that we didn't have. Because there's not pain in the honeymoon stage of a relationship, but ultimately there's pain, there's disappointment, there's hurt. What do? Well, we've learned to fight or flight, but we don't have to. And as we learn to stop protecting ourselves, which is kind of counter our reflex, miracles can happen. I've seen it in my office every day.
So is it all about just communicating and opening up, making yourself vulnerable?
Majorly about communicating. Because if I say to my wife, I always say this, that how many of us have seen our mother say to our fathers, I'm so angry at you. And our father leans forward and says, really, honey, tell me more about that. You know?
It's not usually the way it goes.
It's weird. But we have to do that, and we can do that. But my reflex, if someone's angry at me, is to either say, oh, you're overreacting, or withdraw into a computer. But if I could stay with you, notice my own tension, but not reduce it quickly, and just stay with it, and look at you in the eyes and say, okay, tell me more about that. It's really about learning to feel my feelings, but not react off them. And the less we react off them, the more chance we have.
You talk about developing emotional muscle. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, yes. Because if you think about going to the gym, I mean, we have muscles, but we develop them, a heart muscle with cardio and our weight muscles with the rest of our body. Well, there's emotional muscles that are kind of flaccid. And so as I listen instead of react, I develop more muscle. And if I practice that, suddenly if my wife says, I'm angry at you, it's not the end of the world. And my connection with her becomes stronger than the pain itself. So now the pain doesn't take over the relationship. Sometimes she's angry, sometimes she's happy. But in either way, I can connect. I like when she's happy with me, I like the pleasure, but we could handle the negative feelings. And when we handle the negative feelings, now we have room for all the passion and the romance and everything.
And that's what you mean by the title, The Long Hot.
Hot. Yes, hot. And as we communicate more connectedly, our libido does rise. I've seen this happen over and over again. When people feel, especially women, when they feel that they can be heard, and when the man actually can share something within himself that's meaningful, she seems to open up as well. So it really works. It really can happen. And I've seen it in my office over and over again.
Wow. Good advice.
Thank you, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
Todd Creager's book is called The Long Hot Marriage. For more information on his book, just check out our website, it's KCAL9.com. Click Seen on TV.